In this video, we are going to learn how to do the classic, I need to pick up the flashlight and turn it on to go into a dark area kind of thing. I have misspelled flashlight here in my map, but I fixed it in lantern, so we're all good there. So let's pop over to lantern, and that's not lantern. Pop over to lantern and get this going. So let's open up our board example. There we go. Okay, and I go to my objects. You'll see I have a flashlight. I have made lamp and torch synonyms for flashlight. So these are separated by commas. Just makes it easier to type. If you would like the thing to be on by default, then click the little box here to make it lit. But probably the whole point of finding the lamp is to turn it on. So probably leave that unchecked. And you want to make it portable so the player can pick it up. So, like now if I run my little program here and there's a flashlight here, maybe, rather than having there's a flashlight here, let's give it an initial description. A discarded flashlight lies on the ground. All right, that's a little more poetic. I'll click on a different field. When you lose focus on that field, it saves it. There we go. So let's go to launch player. Now it says a discarded flashlight lies on the ground, and I can take the flashlight because it's portable. All right, and let's unlock that door that we did in the last example. And if I go east, it's pitch dark in here, and I'm like, no problem. I have a flashlight or a lamp or something. So, but it doesn't work yet because we haven't made it work. So let's go make it work. So let's go. We're going to go to our functions here, and I'm going to add a, delete. We're going to delete all this stuff and add it back. Hang on, delete. There we go. All right. Left over from a previous attempt to do this tutorial. Now let me save this. Okay, so let's add a function called turn on flashlight. So down in that little box at the left, I'm going to make a new function and click add. And in my function or my code window here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to find the snippet that says turn on a lamp or flashlight. And Lantern will ask me, what object is the lamp or flashlight? And I'm going to select the flashlight object. Click OK. And now it's going to ask me, would you like to add the following sentence, turn on flashlight? Yeah, so if we type turn on flashlight, it's going to run our code. Would you like to add the function or the sentence light flashlight? Sure, let's do that. OK. So now, let's take a quick look at this. This says, if the flashlight's lit bit is set to 1, which means the flashlight's on, then we're going to print it's already on. Otherwise, so if this is true, we do this. Otherwise, we do that. We're going to run the light check. What this is doing is it's seeing if we couldn't see before and we can see now, then we should run the look command. And the look command will print out the room description. So if we couldn't see before and we can see now, you want to print the room description. So that's what that is doing. And if we go to our sentences, you can see Lantern has added turn on flashlight and light flashlight for us. So now if I save this and run it, and I take the lamp, type get lamp, right? Classic. East, and I got to unlock the door. East, okay, it's pitch dark. Oh, I can just type light lamp, right? Click the supply closet. Now we're in the supply closet, and it says there's a supply closet with an exit to the west. If I type I, you can see that the flashlight is now providing light. Now I can't turn the flashlight off though because we didn't add that yet. So let's go to our functions, and I'm going to make another function called turn off flashlight. And click add, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to find the snippet that says turn off a lamp or flashlight. There we go. And I'm going to pick the flashlight, and it's going to do the same sort of thing. And it's going to say, do you want to add a function for turning off the flashlight? And let's say yes. So if the flashlight's off, it's going to say it's already off. Otherwise the flashlight must have been on. It's going to print click, and it's going to do that little thing where it says, hey, if we could see before and we can't see now, basically the visibility status has changed. Now we want to run the look command, which in this case would print like, it's pitch dark, you can't see. So let's save that. And let's go to our sentences here. And you can see now we have a sentence. Turn off flashlight is going to run our turn off flashlight function. Okay, lamp is a lot easier to type than flashlight. Unlock the door. Okay, east, it's pitch dark. Turn on flashlight. Light lamp. There we go. Okay, turn off flashlight. Click, it's pitch dark. Awesome. And if I type inventory, it says I'm carrying a flashlight. And notice it's not emitting light anymore. All right, that's kind of cool. Watch this though. If I go west and I let me drop the flashlight. Turn on. So I can turn the flashlight on even if I don't have it. And that's kind of like, so to turn something on, you could turn on a generator, but you wouldn't have the generator. So we could add a check that says to turn on the flashlight, you have to have it. Or we could do something like, if you try to turn on the flashlight and you don't have it, just pick it up. So also we could change the description of the flashlight based on whether it's lit or not. So let's do that. Let's do that first. I'm going to make a function called examine flashlight and click add. Now, you don't really have to do this, but it's kind of cool. So we'll write some code that says if the flashlight's lit, then we'll print the flashlight's glowing brightly. Otherwise, we'll print the flashlight's off. So to write an if statement, if tab, that'll expand to make an if statement for you. So let's test if the flashlight's lit property dot lit is equal to 1, which means it's on. Then we want to print a line of text. PR tab expands to print line. The flashlight is shining brightly. There we go. Otherwise, else tab, and that'll add the parentheses for you. PR tab, the flashlight is off. There we go. So we've made this code, but it's useless until we wire it up to a sentence. So let's go to our sentences, and we'll say if the verb is examine, and the object that we're examining, the first noun in that sentence, is the flashlight, then we want to run our examine flashlight function instead. So now if I run this, the flashlight is off. The flashlight is shining brightly. Cool. All right. So when we type that command, that runs the function that we wrote. Now let's fix that little thing where if the player tries to turn on the flashlight and they don't have it, let's make the player just pick it up. And this is kind of neat. So this is where we get into these, what are these different types of sentences? Most of the time you want your sentences to be instead types. You're replacing a default action or adding a default action. But you can also, you've got 3 ways to hook into a sentence here. So what we could do is, before processing the instead part, we want to do something else. So we know we're about to turn on the flashlight. Let's say if we don't have it, let's pick it up. So I'm going to make a function here. Let's go to functions. I'm going to call it like take flashlight. Yeah, sure. Okay. I was thinking of there's other ways to do this. And let's say if tab, the flashlight's location. So the dot operator is like the apostrophe S. So it's the object name followed by the dot followed by the property that you're testing. And in this case, we want to test if the location, if the flashlight's location is not the player. So dot L tab expands to location, and PL tab expands to player. So let's say, oh wait, and we don't want to see if it's equal. We want to say if it's not equal. So not equal is exclamation point equals. If you're testing for equality, that is double equals. If you're testing for not equals, that's exclamation point equals. So what are we doing here? We're saying if the flashlight's location is not the player, then we want to just pick it up. PR tab tab taken. And then let's put the flashlight in the player's inventory. So how do we do that? We change the flashlight's location. We're going to set the flashlight's location to be the player. Flashlight dot L tab tab equals PL tab tab. And that expands to player. So what this is doing is we're saying if the flashlight is not in the player, or the player doesn't have the flashlight, print line taken, and then put it in the player's inventory. Now, let's go back to our sentences, and we'll say, if we try to turn on the flashlight, then let's call our take flashlight function, not instead, but before. So before we turn on the flashlight, we're going to run our code to pick it up. So I've got two sentences here that handle turning on the flashlight. The before part, the before sentence, it says, hey, you're about to turn on the flashlight. You better pick it up. And we could add that to turn off the flashlight as well. Yes. Although it's not quite so critical there. So now let's save this and launch the player. Turn on flashlight. Taken. Click. Okay, so there it is. So we actually wrote two sentences to handle the picking up or the turning on of the flashlight. One to pick it up if we don't have it, and then one to actually turn it on. So that's kind of slick. And we've also got a function that changes the description of the flashlight based on whether it's lit or not. So that is that's super cool. So now we've got light source puzzles. Now we have a flashlight that we can turn on and off.